Tu taua mai I ruka, tu taua mai I raro, tu taua mai I roto, tu taua mai I waho. Kia tau ai te Māori tū, te Māori ora, ki te katoa, hui e, tai ke e. Kia ora. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Marie. So just on that, there's a couple of things. As Zara said, you answering those questions. Partly it is for us to understand how to serve this community well. Partly, we have this vision that in February after the super event, which is the kind of the culminating event in this series, where I hope as many of you as possible stand up and pitch your idea in front of a crowd for the grand prize of of all of but that you in kind of late February will be able to look at the you that you record now and see who you were, where you were with your idea and what's happened since then, and I find that a little bit exciting for you. So, but that's just me. So anyway, I get excited about a lot of things. So tonight we are focused on lean canvas, and so this is, last week we did the impact modeling, which is really getting quite specific about what's the difference that your enterprise is going to make to the world, and what does that mean to you, and how are you going to go about it. The business modeling part, what you'll walk away with today, is at least an understanding of the lean canvas, and you've got some templates in the middle of your table. As we did last week, we're going to unapologetically rush you through the process. I consult on this on a regular basis. I work for days with companies on getting a really sharp lean canvas, but it always starts with a draft. The first one, and the lean canvas is a living organic thing that often I'll go into a business that's well established, but maybe things aren't going as well as they are, and I'll come back. I'll just bring them back to the lean canvas. It's not just a startup tool; it's a tool to. Just who here has experienced lean canvas before? Has worked with lean canvas? Everyone who's done a startup weekend. Yeah, and Steve, and probably everyone who's ever worked with me. Who here has done a business plan? Yeah, right. Okay, cool. So I used to do business plans. I wouldn't touch a business plan now. The world that we live in is changing too fast to invest the time and the words in a business plan that people aren't even going to read, because no one reads anything anymore. So this, when I discovered Lean Canvas, it was like my world changed. It's this magical tool where it's effectively your business plan on a poster, and it's not just that it's there as a poster. It's something that you can go to next week, next month, next year, and look at what assumptions have I been working under. What am I, what do I need? What's not working as well as it should be, and where do I need to drill in to my business model to figure out how to do things differently? So this is a business plan on a page. I think it's magical. So we're gonna rock into it, and we've got a bit of a head start for those of us who were here last week, because if you have a look, has everyone got a lean canvas in front of them now? Everyone got one? Oh, sorry, Steve.
Just allow them to tuck into food as well when you're ready.
Yes.
Just toilets.
Yeah. I'm terrible at this facilitation thing. Housekeeping. Anyone not know where the toilets are? Do you know? Oh God, now I have to explain it. The bathrooms, that's the more polite word, are go out down the corridor, turn left. Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Next, duck and roll.
Oh, just in the event of an emergency, we'll all be heading just down the staircase directly outside the meeting room on the left. And COVID, please check in, if you haven't already, on the app either now or following the session.
Also, there is food in the middle of your table, and we might need to get another one.
Yeah, there's lots more available.
Yeah, there's plenty more out there. So this is a working dinner or a dinner with work or something. So yeah, please help yourself to food and don't feel shy about eating as we go, because the last thing we want you to do is faint on your impact canvas. So impact canvas is different from a lean canvas for those of you who have done it. Only really in that it starts with your purpose and the impact that you want to make. And so for those of you who weren't here last week, we worked on the impact model canvas. So you'll have an opportunity to take that away and work on that in tandem, because they're supporting documents. It's I think it's good practice to work on both because they each kind of cover off separate aspects. So what we're going to start with is those of you who brought your impact model canvas along. Thank you for doing that. If you look at I need 3 hands for this. If you look at the situation, it's thank you very much. So situation is really like that's why you're here, and it's like, what does the world look like? And basically you can use that as inspiration for this top section here of the problem. So it's quite an easy process to transfer that. So ultimately what we're looking at here in the problem box is the most narrow definition you can come up with about the issue that you see in the world that your enterprise can solve. And down here you've got participants, and across here, so we don't actually use this in a linear left to right whatever fashion. We want to know, what is the problem that your enterprise is setting out to solve, and who is suffering from that problem? So you may not have framed it quite that way when you wrote out participants, but you will have a business model when your enterprise is offering a solution that people who are suffering the problem that you solve are willing to pay you for your solution, right? So there's a problem, these people suffer it, they will be the customers who provide revenue to your enterprise to use the solution that you provide to their problem. So
Can I throw a spanner?
please, you throw it in, yeah.
Your customer may be different to who is your most serving.
Yes.
Really important distinction there. So you may have a profit generating model where you sell a product for a good price to customers who can afford it, but actually the profit then gets steered into delivering impact for children suffering from ADHD or whatever the impact recipient is. Just a slight.
Yeah. So yeah, and that, yeah, there's an interesting language thing about this, right? Because none of you are, but if you were just totally a charity, you would be out solving a problem, and you would be, and like maybe a government agency or something like that would be paying you to solve that problem. But they will only pay a charity if that charity is solving a problem that the government is experiencing, or the funding body is experiencing. So what we'll do, we won't go too deep into this because everyone's going to have a different scenario here. But let's just start with, and please, I always use post-it notes. I never write on my canvases because I will come back to them over days, weeks, months, and go, that's not quite right, I'll put a new one on. So let's just start. We'll just take a few minutes to look at the problem that you're solving, and then for customer segments, if the user of what it is of your solution is not the person who provides you with money, then just put two post-its here. So the person that will be using your solution, and if it's a different person paying you, write that customer on a different post-it. And a tip for you as well is, if you're not sure, you can start with really broad kind of demographic things like 16 to 24-year-olds is a perfectly valid starting point for a post-it here. And then immigrants might be enough. Like if you are serving a really specific community, it's absolutely fine just to define them by characteristics rather than as a particular person.
Does the impact segment or impact recipient need to be in the customer segment? Or can it just be the person buying the thing, and then I can have that on my impact canvas?
At a minimum, what we want to see is someone who you are targeting to as a person who will direct revenue towards you, pay your enterprise for a solution.
Cool.
Is that clear?
Yep.
Has anyone got questions about that so far? And we've got some very good experts here, Tanya, Zara, and I have some small expertise. So we'll just, so we're going to we'll just do 5 minutes just on these two, problem and customer segment, and we'll just float around and provide whatever kind of additional support and thoughts and whatever. Yeah. Okay. So first, I'm going to distinguish between USP, which is unique selling point, and unique value proposition. Yep. They're both important, right?
Yep.
But because like our mindset, at least today, is it's still around the impact that we're making, and to make an impact, we must be providing something that people value. If no one values it, we're not focused on the right thing, right? We can all do better than just putting something out in the world that no one gives a shit about. I'm going to keep drawing that distinction between USP, which is unique selling point, and unique value proposition, because what I heard you say was eco-guilt around choosing convenience over the environment. And that's for me, that's what I'm hearing is where your unique value may be, is if you're looking to solve that problem, then you are taking, enabling people to assuage their guilt by not taking but if they need convenience, that's what you're saying, right? Yeah. Their alternatives, they are going for convenience. Yeah. So somehow, perhaps that's the magical place for you, is where they can still get convenience. Yeah. Like maybe you just won't change them, change their behavior, yes, because I've been a parent, and I know you just don't always have the luxury of the good global choice if you've got a million things going on. So I think that's the value of doing this exercise, right? And really looking at what you've said about what they are doing now, because if you can do better, then you've got something that is of true value. You are not going to walk away with a canvas that you can turn into your business tomorrow. What we're doing is just looking at how to approach putting this together. So we're going to crack on, do you use Impact Lean Canvas?
I have before.
Yeah, there's two places I could go from here. So this is, I find interesting, solution and metrics. Yeah. Because again, you can build this however you like. So let's face it, most of you came along with a solution, right? Tracy, what's your solution?
Freezer, solar meals.
Yeah. And so in some ways, this pathway is to, leads to now, you've defined the problem, who suffers it, what they're doing, who is the early adopter, and the unique value you can provide to them. You get now the opportunity to basically check in with your solution and is like, am I actually doing that? Does my solution do that? So who does not have a solution in mind, right? Who could not just put a post-it right here, right now? Dick? I wasn't being rude. This is Dick.
I'm sound-quoting her.
Oh, okay, nice. All right. So let's do that then. Let's just drop your post-it here on your solution space. So it works if there's enough of a kind of a metaphorical or like comparative kind of thing out there, and it doesn't. By the way, it doesn't have to be in the same segment. So yours is quite food specific, so that's appropriate. But a lot of them are not. Like, it's really dumb. This doesn't work. But you could almost say that Airbnb is Uber for homeowners, or
It's a great thought trigger.
Yeah.
It really gets you going.
So see, it's not a X for Y. It's just a sort of a snapshot kind of summary. But it's so you can come at it at both angles. You can do the long form. This is what the unique value proposition is, or you can do the short form, which is it's kind of like this. Yeah. So we are going to crack on. So don't worry if you haven't filled this space in here. And I will just say again that you're in Manifold, which is the home of Startup Taranaki, and we have what on an ongoing basis to help.
Office hours. Yes, every month we offer a limited amount of our time gifted to you for a one-to-one session where you can come in, bring this canvas, or it may be another idea or a challenge that you're facing right now, and you can bounce that off the most appropriate team members. So if we know what that challenge is before you come in, we can select those that have experience in that space to offer you soundboarding, expertise, connections, resources that are most relevant to help you overcome or embrace that opportunity.
Yeah, so you never need to feel stuck. You have to book them online. Shout out to New Plymouth District Council and community funding, whatever it's called. Awesome sponsorship shout out. Sorry, NPDC. Funded by them, yeah. So it's an awesome initiative. So just remember, you're never alone, and there's more things that you can participate in. So we're going to keep going, and if you're stuck, you have that option. Right. So we're going to jump into. We're only going to take a minute to do this. Post-it note with what your current solution definition is, and you spent time figuring out what are the short-term outcomes, what are the medium-term outcomes, and what are the long-term outcomes that you'll be shooting for, and what are your activities and outputs to create those outcomes. So take a look at, beneath the solution are key metrics, and we're just going to, I'm just going to suggest, does someone want to volunteer to, for some crowdsourced key metrics ideas? Who wants some help with their key metrics?
Crowdsource, what do you?
Just run with me. Who wants some help who wants some help figuring out your metrics?
I'm happy to go for it.
Okay, Keith, please stand up.
Okay. Sales. Would that be a key metric?
Hold your horses. We'll just make sure everyone can hear me. Okay, so you have a solution.
Right.
What measures are you going to put in place that will enable you to know that it is doing the job that you want it to do? Cool. Okay. And so remember too last week when we talked about how we would measure when we did the example with Tracy, and it was like, so the composting or the food waste, kilograms composted. So it's good to be really specific about the metric, what you're measuring, and have a unit so geography, what are some numbers that you could capture around geography? Here you all are working together, and there's so much generosity here, the willingness to contribute to each other. And right from when we launched this program, we said, look around, look at who's in the room. The entrepreneurial journey, Steve and I were just talking before about how you can get through a lean canvas and you can just look at it and go, holy shit, this is just crazy. What was I thinking? Yeah, and hopefully you do. What was the Einstein quote?
Oh, I can't remember it.
If at first the idea is not absurd, there is no hope for it. Einstein had a funny way of speaking. This is hard, and there is always help. So thank you, Keith, for actually being open to receiving help from this community, and we will be running some founder get-togethers next year after this program finishes, and it's you do you. If you're alone, like do it alone, and you do that. But there's an opportunity to be sharing and learning from each other and contributing to each other, because it makes Taranaki a better place when we have people passionate about what they're doing and making a difference. So thank you all for being that and doing that. All right, so have a think about how you might measure the success of your solution, and it's okay to think about it in terms of a commercial or a kind of a quantifiable success in terms of delivery of your product or service. It's also fine to think about it in terms of how you would measure impact, and refer back to that section that we did at the end of last week around indicators. We're going to spend 9 minutes now just working on the aspects of the canvas that we haven't done, just using logic. So I'm just going to run through. Unfair advantage. What is something that you possess? What is an asset that you have that no one else has? So I have been in businesses where the unfair advantage is a straight out network, the network of the people involved.
Your unfair advantage is your beard.
But okay, all right, all right. I'll take it because it's quite easy. I'm going to move on because I don't know what to do with that. So, unfair advantage. Think of it as an asset that you have that no one else has, and so it can be around people, products, like a skill. It could be that you're Jeff Bezos and you just have $70 gazillion, and that's quite an advantage. So it may be some historical kind of asset that you've built up, like around knowledge. But again, really, we're not going to spend too long on this, because all we want is what's something you can take to a potential customer or a potential partner or a potential investor and say, this is why I'm, or my team is right for, this is why we're going to succeed. So we're not doing it right. I'm just going to run you through what these other squares. We're going to look at channels, and that just means how will you get whatever you're doing to the people who receive it or use it or access it. This is basically around distribution, and it can be a people thing. You might have outsourced distribution partners. You may, Miguel, when you think about the content creators on your platform, and you think of who is going to be consuming that content, what logical channels might you use to get the content to the consumer?
Internet, a web page.
Yep. If you think about who's creating the content, who wants to see that content?
It's the people who are going to buy the product.
Yeah, but maybe particularly the people they know. It's like, I want to see Grandpa's thing, so Grandpa becomes a channel. He tells all of his friends, and some of them come and make new content, and they tell all of their friends and their grandchildren and whatever.
The users.
Yeah. So your producers are also your channels to get more content and get more audience. So it's can be there can be network effects. There can be it can straight out be it might just be a marketing exercise for you. But just have a think about what you have access to that can, as a conduit for your product or service, to get to the people who will be using it. The other two, I'm gonna suggest that you do this order. Do revenue before you do cost structure. Is my suggestion. This is totally like a jigsaw puzzle. Revenue is how will you get money in? Is it from donors or philanthropists? Is it from the user? Is it some intermediary? Like if you're a B2B business, if you have a business to business offering, then often the HR people are buying, or the procurement people in the business are buying your product or service. And then the employees of those businesses who never know what it costs are using it. Like Xero is the Xero accounting package is an example of that. In large businesses, the users are in the finance department or whatever, but the buyers of it are in the procurement or whatever department. So where are you getting your money from? And is there more than one source? Especially if you're making an impact, is there someone who cares enough about that impact to support you financially in that? It's not as easy as it might occur to you. But yeah, so revenue is just how many ways can you get money coming into you from people who love you. And then the last one is cost structure. And this is, I'm going to make a little tangent here and we'll see how we go. MVP. Who knows what MVP is?
Minimum viable product.
Yeah, okay, a few of you. All right. Minimum viable product. So the reality is you have to start somewhere. So when you look at your canvas and what you're doing, the cost structure is you can look at what are you up for in ongoing costs. So Miguel doing a platform is going to be up for some like AWS or like some large cloud server, cloud storage kind of scenario. And that's just an ongoing cost that he's going to need. But he's also going to need some development costs and some maybe marketing costs. And so give some thought to that. But I've just about talked our way through our 9 minutes. Awesome. So we'll make it like just 4 minutes to just comb through, chuck a post-it note in any of these. Don't worry too much if you haven't, because we're going to then have a bit of a chat about what you're going to do next. Okay, validation. Right, so you've all got lots of material to work with. Now, who knows what an assumption is?
Something that makes an
Out of you and Ian. Right, that is, folks, pretty much everything you have done is on your canvases is an assumption. So, validation. Who would like to? Abby, you are Abby is a local superstar. Is this super embarrassing for you?
Pardon?
Is this embarrassing for you?
A little bit, but it's okay.
You've been up on stage. Abby is like superstar winner of the Young Enterprise Scheme in Schools program. She represents Taranaki, like wins awards, does an amazing job, has 2 businesses up and running. So yeah, we should just give Abby a little round of applause. Abby, could you tell us what validation is?
Yeah, so I guess validation, like it's, I guess proving that your assumptions are valid and that people actually have that issue and they actually want that solution, and taking like the learnings from that and adjusting your canvases and your how you view the problem and solution from that. So yeah, like talking to your early adopters or all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. All
right. So validation is just changing an assumption to a fact based on evidence. And you find that evidence from the people that you want to sell your product to or engage in your service. Abby, would you be able to tell us and pick one assumption you have on your canvas right now, please?
That my customers have a lack of accessibility to unique and high quality clothing. That's an assumption.
Okay, assumption is your customers lack access to high quality clothing.
Yeah, that's unique.
That's unique high quality. Okay, awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so quick crowdsourcing. How, from anyone, shout it out. How is Abby going to validate that actually is a problem?
Online survey.
Right, online survey is one.
Yeah.
Ask friends.
Ask friends is another. You're on a roll, Steve. Keep going.
We go on to research the internet for what's been already done.
Oh, okay. Search the internet. Nice. Yep. What else?
Yeah, definitely searching to try to find these products. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
already done that.
Go into a clothes shop and ask if they've had requests for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keep it coming. This is good.
I'm just trying to see if someone's done anything different that I haven't done, because I have validated that. But yeah, it's good to see if there's anything else more that I can do. Because
Nice.
there will be something.
Okay. So I will 7:29. Tell a super quick story. I've worked a lot with a CEO who is a really good salesperson, and we've done lean canvases, and then he speaks Mandarin and I don't, so I send him out to validate our propositions. He will sit down with a really good high quality target, and then he will tell them why they want what we've got. Does that sound like validation? No. Like, it's super satisfying for him, because he'll come back and say, 17 million people said yes, they absolutely want our product and they will pay $1 gazillion for it. But you get my point, right? It is your job. You want to prove your assumptions wrong. Yeah. The best thing you can do about it, as you look at your canvas and take it out and start asking potential customers or the people who you might be hoping to make an impact from, hope that they prove you wrong, because every time they prove an assumption wrong, you get another piece of data that helps you build your unique value and takes you closer to understanding how to get that to market. So you have to figure out your own style. I'm a people person. I just like getting out and talking to people and asking them. It's slow and it has its pitfalls. So does sending out a survey. So there are, what was lovely here is in 30 seconds, Abby heard 4 different absolutely valid ways to approach validation. So just have a look at what are your assumptions and who can who can tell you where they are flawed, and and then use your best either interview skills or survey design skills. Tanya, any comments on that?
Yeah. Book an office hour. Yeah, book an office
Yeah.
hour.
So, like, you'd be surprised how many people go, "Oh, right, I'll do a survey." It is survey design is a skill in itself. It's really easy to get back low quality data if you.
Or too much data.
Yeah. Or not even know what to do with it. Yeah. So generally, what we say, if you're a people person, just get out and talk to people. If you're not so much, then figure out. Then you've got other kind of modes of research that you can use. There are some resources. We'll send these slides out. So there's some resources to help you, and Google is your friend. And so super quickly, that was business modeling using the impact canvas. Masterclass 3 is early February.